Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good evening and welcome to Car Wax. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and I'm here with my co-host, the Bougie Brother Sean. What's up, brother?
Howdy, ho.
You're in the studio today. Came through.
Yes,
so we're gonna do some live shit going on. A little different quality, but we got some R&B still on tap. So y'all know we did a couple ladies. Now we're gonna do a couple gentlemen. But before we start with that, is a little something Sean and I was debating on, is the quality of the releases that's been coming out. Sean,
Yes.
as you well know, we kind of digging deeper and trying to find miscellaneous people around just to say, hey, let's do some reviews. And it's been constantly disappointing. What's your take on that, dude?
Well, I think it's an overall that everybody has been saying the same thing. It's very dry at the beginning of this year, man. It's been a lot of issues starting off this year. At the end of the first quarter, like the last day of March, Nipsey passed, and even before that, it was just, I guess everyone was just revving up for some type of thing that was about to pop off. And then, the Nipsey thing passed, long live Nipsey. We didn't even get to talk about that, but
True.
Definitely dedicating this one out to Nipsey. But it was just, it felt like it was about to start revving up, and then Nipsey died, and then it's going to delay again, actually.
Yeah. Because, people paying respects and kind of reminiscing back on what he did so much for the community and in the minds of people.
Right.
It's not even just his community. He transcended way beyond where he lived. And that was an important factor. But, I'm going to go back to what you said, though. Even prior to him coming out or being killed, let's just put it out there was just some weak releases, dude. And it's like either people are holding back or, what kind of effort is coming out, especially in the top of the year. We had some decent stuff coming out the first of the year last year. We had some things that we lingered on. Remember, the Black Panther lingered on for a long time, and then we had people right behind him.
Nominated. It was actually
KOD
nominated.
was right out during that time.
Yep,
it's
420 came out 420 last year.
So much stuff was coming out that we were saying, "Wow, people got to come out. People got to be ready." Now it's like major dryness coming up in this bitch.
Well, Logic came out, but it wasn't really a hip hop album.
Yeah, and it was okay.
Yeah, and then Rich the Kid, he came out with The World Is Yours 2, and we reviewed The World Is Yours 1.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, it was a very mixed reviews. I wouldn't go there yet. But very mixed reviews of the 2 Chainz album.
Yes, it was.
And, that was supposed to be really like the album of the year. And there's, man, a lot of back and forth on how that is just kind of might have missed the mark.
Right.
So, the R&B side sounds a lot better than the hip-hop coming up. The Juice WRLD album, as time goes on, it starts to grow on you, but more grows on you because there's nothing else really out. So you just go back to listen to certain things, and you're like, well, was this really bad, or was I just tripping? And then you listen to it, and you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. The Baby stepped out at the beginning of this year to kind of get a name for himself.
Offset was there.
Offset was definitely out, put out a quality Substance album. Solange came out and made a phenomenal album.
But see, let's wait up now. We still on the hip hop side.
Okay, yeah, because you're right. The R&B did their thing.
Yeah, the R&B did their thing, and even some of the R&B that we didn't even touch, because I didn't even do the review on my boy too. That he came out, James Blake, because he had a release.
Okay.
And you know, I really wanted because he had Metro Boomin and Travis Scott on there.
Nice.
So he was doing some things with them.
Okay.
And then he was on the Black Panther album last year. He was on what's his name album, Travis album. So he's making the rounds as an R&B guy, even though he's British, but he moved to the States. So there's a lot of good R&B that's out here that's quality and lingering. But for some reason, it's like, I mean, even when we said Gunna, I was excited by Gunna.
Yeah.
But then about a couple of weeks later, you was like, dude, are you putting that back on?
Right,
I was
right.
Yeah.
But for me, the two stand out. I would say the top 5 that stood out to me in hip hop. The Future definitely grew on me. I mean, I liked it, but yeah, that's a solid project right there. The Boogie.
Yeah.
Definitely
Boogie.
Can't hate on the Boogie.
Definitely.
The Offset album, man. Gotta give the love to the Offset album.
So I think, you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to Hip Hop Show. You gotta give him the respect. I mean, because there was nothing so overwhelming that you can say what a good project, other than a couple of new faces like Boogie and The Baby. Offset really stood out for the quarter.
For the quarter, exactly.
For the quarter.
If he would have made it in the summertime, this would have been right under the rug with all the rest of the stuff.
Exactly.
So this was actually great timing for that Offset album. It allowed him to shine, allowed him to breathe, allowed people breathe on it. He didn't have to rush out any videos or whatnot.
Yep.
And then, like you said, The Baby, that was like number 4 for me. You know, that definitely grew on me. Surprisingly, it was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
I enjoyed the hell out of him. So
yeah, and then for me, I definitely like Burner and Mozzie's Slime Individuals. That's a sleeper. But a major sleeper for me that I definitely slid to you was 38 Special. Did you check him out?
38 Special. Nah.
That was like he's like the New York rapper.
Yeah, I did. He was. I heard the one with
5 Shots. I think it was. Yeah, 5 Shots only had like 6 songs on it, and then he had 38 Strategies of Raw. So those were his 2 most recent projects that I wanted you to check out. But he was surprisingly pretty good.
Yeah, but again, and let's go back to the quality of music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was okay with it. You know, I was just okay with it, and I'm expecting a lot more because we don't review everyone that comes out.
Right.
I'm sorry, everyone doesn't get that. You know, you gave me Maxo, and I was kind of like, okay, you know,
but it was still like, don't.
Cy I turned it on and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was. And then the back end was kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he did the harmonizing R&B thing.
Yeah. But, you know, again, I at least was able to play through it.
Right.
You know, because remember, we said he has 2 kind of styles.
Exactly. We had to respect that, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So so there's just a lot average that was coming out. And normally we get some people that peak, but we didn't get that. We had some people that were good, but we didn't have anybody that peaked.
Yeah, Logic is still just he's still playing the average role. He has his sparks, but I don't know, man. I mean he's great. I think he needs to drop something with some real substance.
Right.
I think the book was his substance.
Right.
I'm gonna just drop the alternative album to go with the novel.
It was a project that he did.
Right. First novel to have a soundtrack, first to go, all of the record history breaking stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah. So it was a project.
Right.
It wasn't a release to me.
Okay.
It was part of the project, which I respected. And it gave a different sound that what I would have got from him. But I had to respect that he was trying to do a project.
Yes.
As opposed to, here's my new release. So I just wanted to run through that because it just feels, sadly, when I'm not getting what I want, I go with older shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I either repeat the stuff that I liked, or I'm looking through the archives of somebody's older stuff and say, I remember this, I remember that. Oh, cool. So, and that's what I went with for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. And then there was a whole week or 2 weeks where we just listening to Nipsey.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that whole week. You know, his streams went up like 600-700%. You know, so it's been tough.
Yeah.
It's been a real struggle going through this year, man. So I just hope it picks up, and it has. You know, to be released albums. Schoolboy Q is dropping.
Yep. Got to hear that.
You know, very, very important project.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want you to hear Tech 9.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta hear the Tech 9. That was a sneak release.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
I think that one's, honestly, I'm telling you now, I think that one's better than the previous year.
Then the Planets?
Yeah.
Wow. The Planets was good.
Planet was different though. Mm-hmm. This one's a little more mainstream type of
Well, he got a lot of features on there.
But the way he organized it, it played really well. I need for you to listen to it.
Okay.
Though.
Okay, we'll review that.
So if you can see what hear what I hear.
When you get an opportunity, you got to do the Bun B and Static Selected.
Yep.
Is it on Apple yet?
It didn't show up, but I gotta, I can search it down now.
It was initially exclusively on Tidal.
So
it came out Saturday.
Yeah.
It came out 4/20. So it was. So there was like
probably another week or two.
Exactly. So it's probably gonna be another week. But that was cool.
Okay.
You told me to check out the last Bun B, and I did, and I was like, okay. So on the strength of the last one not being bad, I checked out this one.
Okay.
But this one also was filled with features too.
Gotcha.
But it was smooth. You know, it was it's a compliment to his last project.
Okay.
You know,
so the thing is, I really wanted to come out with, because we just haven't been doing hip hop or rap, and we're gonna do a consecutive R&B right now.
Right.
So there's nothing that's cutting in between that, because I'm just feeling these ladies, I'm feeling these guys, and I'm kind of like, dude, I'm waiting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it's
and all these little singles just keep popping up,
yeah.
it's making you anxious about what's gonna come, and it's
Sire, Jaden came out with whatever, we even had that conversation like, really, was the first one a fluke?
Yeah.
It was him and XX-Tentacion, but XX came out and said, this is what it is, and now he's gone.
Yep.
So sad state of music, especially with the loss of Nipsey, which that's a loss to positivity. You know what I mean? From the streets to positivity to say, hey, this is how you can get your life right, and sometimes you don't have to leave the hood to make the hood right.
Right.
And he did it well, and thank God people showing him the respect that he deserves. Honestly, so
yeah, and I just want to dedicate, I just want to actually take a moment and just say, Nipsey was great. He seen what he was, and he planted a lot of seeds, before he left, because he knew that you wasn't going to catch on to a lot of things that he was doing until it was time for him to tell you, or something like this happened. So. It is great to see how great a man was. It hurts to see that he had to leave to see how great he actually was. Mm-hmm. The catch is he already knew how great he was. So, salute to the great. And he will never be forgotten, man. Long live Nipsey.
Long live Nipsey. Cool. So, let's get into this music shit. Want to start off with... something I didn't expect to come out, because I think we had an off opinion on this guy, which is Anderson Paak.
Yes.
So
surprise.
I'm a Paak fan. I like this kid. I really do. I just didn't think he did a good job on his last release, Oxnard.
Yes.
I just didn't think he did what he should have. But then comes Ventura. Ventura.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about Oxnard real quick. What were the main reasons why we were talking about Oxnard wasn't really that good?
So I was trying to put it back on.
I did and skipped right through it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So
it was like,
So it was, you didn't know what he wanted to do.
Exactly.
He was just, I want to try this. Now I'm going 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 to try this. I'm going to try this. This is who I am, but I'm going to try this. And it was features all through this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like I need support, which he doesn't really need support. He's a good enough performer, singer, whatever. He's good enough for that.
Now, Dre's hands was heavy in the Oxnard.
Yeah, you told me that. We talked through that from that.
So
it was almost like a dictation of this is what we're going to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I believe that more after I listened to this project.
Oh, really?
You can tell that this project was untouched. You can honestly probably tell that this was done prior to the last project. You know what? We're just going to hold on to that.
Yeah,
and we're going to
do this one as the big release.
Fix this. Yeah, let's fix this. So let's make some new. We got some features coming in. Let's work on that now. Let's do that now.
Okay.
And he was like, but what about this?
No. We're going to wait on that. We're going to wait on that.
We'll worry about that later.
So that's why maybe this was a quick release.
Right. It came out so fast.
Because it was already there.
Sitting in the bag.
And he got the criticism on the front end, and he was kind of like, look, I'm just going to give you my shit.
Right.
Which brings me to the point of this is his music.
There you go.
And this is where my mind changed to say, wow, this is the Anderson Paak that I've been hearing as features or singles with somebody, because he shows up on bands. He shows up alone with other people. He shows up in a lot of places, and then he compliments others. This one was him, and people were on there, and the limited amount of people that was on here truly complimented him.
Yeah. Yep.
They didn't align themselves with him.
He gave me more of a Bilal feel on this one.
That's a good.
With a little bit more funk to it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh man, because he was smooth. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, he had that extra funk to him that was like, okay, that grabbed the younger generation and it kept their attention. You know, I thought that was cool, and he was talking about some real powerful stuff.
Yeah. And the big release is King James.
Yes.
Which he's showing mad, respect to LeBron James. Mm-hmm. And it is odd, you know what I mean? Because, we talk about him anyway and how he make big moves. And how people say that they need to know what he's doing. He's just not a basketball player.
Right.
So there's somebody who said, yeah, I'm pointing at that kid right there. And you know what? I'm going to give him the respect. And I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. Wasn't a great song, but it was, but I like that. But out of respect, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? But I cut it on and he got me. You know what I'm saying? Because come home and you got 3,000 on that bitch. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because that was not expected.
No, it wasn't.
And the way he showed up on it was great as well. He said, this is my side of it. You know what I'm saying? And you do your thing, and I'm gonna come in behind you and do my thing. And it went really, really well.
Yeah, it was, his lyrical style is great. You know, he's just able to, just the way he was able to put that story in, make it sound so fast, but when you were like, whoa, let me rewind. It's actually telling a little story in between all of this, you know, so it was amazing.
Andre 3000 showing up. Yeah. So, but that caught. So I was already ready. But the next one, which is Make It Better with Smokey Robinson, I already heard that one because that was one that was like a teaser that Apple put out early, and I was loving that anyway. The one thing that I would say with that is that I really enjoyed it's almost like you couldn't tell who was singing.
Okay.
It blended really well.
Right.
The way that song is put together, they blended so well together. So I enjoyed it from before, and to lay that behind something hot on the front end and go from there, I just thought that was a nice one from that.
Okay.
Then Reaching Too Much. Oh, the reason why I'm going in this way is because it's only 11 cuts.
Yeah, very short album.
I love that too.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
Give me just enough so I can keep playing it. You know, except for giving me 20 cuts that's like 2 minutes long. You know what I'm saying? So this one I honestly thought this would be a collab with Layla Hathaway. But it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't. She was just highlighting. You know what I mean?
Right.
She was a little here at the back end. She started scatting before it went off. But she was just involved in it.
Right.
She didn't have a true verse in there. And I was waiting on it, but I was like, damn, okay, that's all?
Well, that's how most of the album was. It was like you didn't really notice the features.
Right.
It was like, man, this is good. And then you just heard them in the background. Like, sorry to skip, but
No, go ahead.
The Brandy track.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it was Brandy until like the 4th, 5th time I heard it.
I
was
didn't.
just like, wow.
And you
this
don't
is
catch
great.
it though.
Nope, you don't. That's how smooth it is, and it flows really, really well. This was a shocker.
So did you like the fact that the features wasn't your normal type feature, other than featured compliments? Because I always call them compliments. So when you come in there and you just do maybe the hook, or you come in and sing a little, you know, sort of like the Solange album.
Right.
There was a lot of people that weren't featured in
Right,
there.
right.
They
That-
were complimenting everything on there with her.
I think I like that better. You know, I like that better because it's like you're expecting something and you're getting something else.
Yeah.
So it's like you're waiting on a verse, but you're like, whoa, the verse. So where was he? Then you got to listen to it again, and you were like, oh,
that's all they
You were
did.
just in the hook,
Right.
Okay, that's
right. Or the
cool,
harmonizing,
but,
yeah.
And then, but it doesn't take away from the actual artist, either.
Right.
You know, it's like I'm still the showcase. This person is just here to co-sign this song for me. You know, a lot of these were just co-signs. Even the Nate Dogg track, I didn't even know that was Nate Dogg.
So he even have I don't want to say a different style, but he sound different. I thought he was dead, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, so how did that was fucking amazing.
old song.
Yeah.
Old song.
And he revised it like he was right there. They mixed down and he did a really good job with this.
Yeah.
This to me put a staple on who Anderson Paak is.
Definitely.
And that's what I loved about this album. And it was, I came in because of Oxnard, like,
I was very critical of this
Yeah.
album. When I popped it in, I was like, okay, he kind of rushed it. All right, let's pop it in. See, so it wasn't like, okay, this better be better.
Right.
It wasn't nothing like that.
He was cautious.
But he pushed it out so fast. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay, it took him this long to drop this other album, and then he rushed to put this one out. Let's see what this sounds
yeah.
like.
So why would he do that?
Right, and that, so it wasn't like, this better sound good.
Right,
It was
right.
like, whoa, that was in a hurry. Okay, let's see why this let's see what this is gonna sound like since it came out like that. And like I said, the quality of this music, you could tell that it took them some time.
Yeah.
It didn't take them 4 months to put these songs together. If it took them 4 months to put this quality of music together, man, this is great.
But I
He's
think-
super great.
But I think what you said was, this is what he probably wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so Dre was like, no, this is what we're going to put out. Let's hold on to
Didn't he
this.
have Kendrick Lamar on the album?
Yeah, he had J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. He had a whole bunch of fucking people on there, which to me took too much away from him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Even what he was singing and rapping about was a little more kind of raw, where he's really, this was a lot of good singing as opposed to, I'm trying to rap about riding with my bitches and going like this
Right.
and doing it in a different way.
Right.
He had some really good songs on here.
And see, I think Dre tried to get him one with that, with the Oxnard. Dre really tried to be like, classic album. Yep, I'm the one that put my hands on it.
I'm going to show you.
Right. And then it just didn't go right with the type of artist. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's not him.
Right. You have to. He's so used to dealing with a type of artist, and this is a whole different genre of artist.
Yep.
So when he tried to put that formula on him, it was like, nah, that don't fit.
Yep.
That don't fit. Okay, let's just try to. All right, let him do what he do then. And then this came out, and I'm sure everybody was just like, all right, well, let's just keep letting him do what he do, and we're just gonna leave him alone. Look.
Yeah, because this is what he do.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep saying this, but I really enjoyed this one.
Right.
I would have hoped that this would have been the one that was released first, and then they would say something like he's trying something different the next time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think if the Oxnard was now, then I would have been like, damn, he's trying some different shit. But I know who he is. But because based on the features he's been on and everybody else, this blends better than what he used to do.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
This is exactly who he is. I don't need him rapping.
No.
I don't need him on the pop rap side.
Or featured with a rapper all the time.
I don't need it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if I happen to hear him and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool, but nah, I need his albums to sound like this.
Yep.
Because
so the really only real, intense rap was that Andre.
Yeah.
Everything else was singers with him.
Well, he had a couple of songs, I Go Dumb Like the President, you won, but they were like upbeat tracks.
Yeah.
Because
he loved to dance, you know him.
Exactly.
Oh, dancing ass all over the place and shit.
So it was just, to your point, yes, this was nice. I didn't even want to put it on as many times as I put it on, but I was just like, damn, this is a nice album.
And he only gave you 11 cuts.
And he only gave
you
11.
So it's easy to put it back on again.
Put it on at work, and then I was surprised on how fast it cut off. I was like, hey man, let me know what you think about this. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, oh, it's over already. Oh, man.
Put that on again.
Right. And that was perfect. Again, they're catching on to the formula. We caught on to it last year.
Yep.
Those 2 minute 30-second songs. These albums lasting 37 minutes, less than 45 minutes. If you can get an album that's less than 45 minutes within the 35-minute, 40-minute range, you good.
And good replay value.
Yep.
So
Vince Staples did it.
Yep.
So the formula is out there, and now everybody's kind of catching on to it. So shout out to Solange for kind of tweaking the formula to her favor with the When I Get Home, because that was just unique within itself. But everything was still kind of short.
Yep.
And she kind of made it a book. Or like a whole.
But the flow was fantastic.
Right.
So the arrangement, let's go back.
The arrangement.
One of the things that we've been talking about is sometimes what makes a good album is how it's arranged. So if you can arrange that it flows to here's this story, that goes to this story, that goes to this song, that goes to this, and the arrangement flows so well that by the time you get through the end, you be like, wow. Let me put that on again.
Right. And that's what Ventura did. That's exactly what Ventura did. I didn't want to skip a track. I enjoyed it. I wanted more.
Yep.
But I was fine with the 11 to repeat it. So, man, well worth it. Great body of work. This is the lane that he needs to stay in.
Yep, absolutely. So, with replay value, what I should have expected last year, really nice arrangement and features that he put on there. I got it as a 8.75.
Yep. That's exactly what I have it as. I can't get it anymore.
I can't get it no more
because he didn't do as good on the previous album. I'm not basing it off of that, but I know that if he does it right, he can use this to make a better album.
So this will be a good jump off to say, remember guys, this is who I am.
Right.
So when I do the next one, you're going to continue to get who I am. You're not going to get that Dr. Dre shit. You're going to get this. But I don't think there was that many true standouts to make it a 9.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was just a complete body of work.
Which was great. I thought that was good. But no standouts. Because if you got standouts that makes me go, whoa. Because I did like a lot of stuff in here. But it wasn't a standout. So I kept them below that 9 figure. So, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I totally agree. And that's why I kind of kept it at the 9 too. I mean, at the 8.75 because it was like, this is good.
Yep.
This is where you're supposed to be at. Yeah. Okay, that's the mark that you're at right there. So I know this is where I know you can be. You know what I'm saying? This is above average album. This isn't a great album, but this is definitely an above average album. And since I know you can hit that mark, you're gonna continue. You should be able to continue to hit that.
So I want to at least say this because we said the other one had a lot of features on it, right? So this is 11 cuts now. 11 cuts. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 7 features on that. But here's the difference. They weren't features.
Right. They didn't take away from him.
They didn't take away. And you really don't know. Like Nate Dogg, if you didn't know that was Nate Dogg on it by reading it, you would have been like, oh, who's he singing with?
I didn't know who that was.
I didn't. But I was expecting to hear that.
Exactly.
But you didn't get it.
I heard the Nate Dogg name and I was just like, okay, I should be hearing the Nate Dogg sometime soon. Yeah. And then the CD started all over and I
like, what the fuck happened?
Okay. And like I said again, by the 4th, 5th time that I'm listening to it, now I'm actually looking at the features of the CD and I'm just like, oh, Nate Dogg was telling him to throw it away. Like, this is trash. No, I don't even sound like this. This ain't me. Nah, we keeping this, bro.
We keeping this, bro. We keeping that one. So and he arranged it so well to make it so different, which made it perfect for him. You know what I mean? This is Anderson Paak. He doesn't do the normal stuff. He does his thing. You had the Brandy, to your point, that you really didn't know that was Brandy unless you read it. And the other two, the Jasmine Sullivan and the Sonia Elise, those were nice.
Yes.
Those they complimented them so well. So even when we say, man, there's a lot of goddamn features, these features were perfect.
He produced some of these beats too.
Yep. Because he's the drummer and he does his thing. And I just really, so I'm not going to keep going through this, but this was a very, very enjoyable album. Big up to Anderson Paak. Maybe if he stays on this track, people start seeing him a little differently, which I hope.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Dre tried to give him that hip hop rapper push to make him be in that superstardom, but that's not what he needed, and that's not his lane. He can still be in the superstardom and just again create this neo funk lane that he has, and be the poster child of that. You know, like I said, the Bilals and the Maxwells and all of them are getting older. So this is the perfect face for that sound.
And to me, he should be the feature for that type of sound, not the primary
like the
Music
for him. Soul Child of
like he'll be a feature on some rap shit. But when he does his own, he does his own. He doesn't need to have it on his own stuff. Right. You know, hey, a rapper doing something, I need Anderson to do the vocals and a slight rap. Right. Okay. That's the lane that I think he can be in. I don't think he should be putting it in his music. I mean, he does it a little bit, but he does it to a point that's so smooth. You don't have to be hard with your shit.
I agree.
So, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Anderson Paak, Ventura.
Yeah, congratulations, R&B. Y'all doing y'all thing.
You're doing it, stepping out.
Doing y'all thing.
Tune in next time when we jump back into the new Khalid release and we finish off our R&B for the month. Thank you. See you next time.